Mr. Chris Dawson, you are here suing Miss Pamela Green and Mr. Marcus Green for $2,200 you say Marcus Green caused by vandalism at the youth center you run.
There was spray painting to the facility, and windows were also broken, but I do have surveillance footage, and I was hoping that we could have an admission from Marcus.
Let me ask him, Mr. Green, did you cause vandalism to the center? He said he has video.
For the first time, we're bringing justice to you. Your location is the courtroom, and the truth has nowhere to hide.
That tells me all I need to know. I understand you don't like each other. I don't care.
Judge Faith, a former criminal prosecutor, legal analyst, and now creator of the first courtroom where justice has no walls, filters, or boundaries. Only truth. Virtual Justice with Judge Faith.
You're watching a special 2-week preview of Virtual Justice with Judge Faith. Want access to brand new cases and weekly live discussions with me? Stick around. I'll tell you how. Mr. Chris Dawson.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are here suing Miss Pamela Green.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Marcus Green.
Yes, Your Honor.
For $2,200 you say Marcus Green caused by vandalism at the youth center you run at a local town in New Jersey?
Yes, Your Honor, and I can explain it very succinctly if you would like me to.
In 1 second, sir, and I want to understand, Miss Green, you are Marcus's mother?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Marcus, you are 16 years old?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will start with you, Mr. Dawson. Give me some background. Tell me about the youth center and why you've brought the Greens to court today.
Certainly, Your Honor, and I wish I didn't have to do this. I'll just start off by saying, about 10 years ago, I was the children's and teen librarian at the local public library branch, and we had a lot of budget cuts. And about the same time, my nephew, Caleb, was sadly and tragically murdered, and I quit the job and put
I'm sorry to
everything
hear
I
that.
had. Thank you, Your Honor. I put everything I had, scraped everything together, built this community center, called in every favor I ever had, put every chip on the table, and built this thing from scratch as a way to save our boys, plain and simply, Your Honor. And about a year ago, Marcus showed up out of the blue. Actually, it wasn't the blue. It was an overcast, rainy day, and he seemed to need a ride. And we happened to be neighbors, and I asked him if he would get in the car, and I'd take him home, and he was happy to do so. And I introduced him to the idea of the center. And within a few weeks, Marcus was one of our star students. It was amazing. He helped build a mural, this beautiful mural. I think you have that, a picture of that, Your Honor. And he was leading a journaling group called Boys to Men. And even when I decided to put together a community award to honor some of the students in the center that were really excelling. And he won the first one. And then not too long after, his cousin died, and that was tragic. And then Marcus just seemed to slide, and he wasn't around. And that coincided with somebody dumping garbage all over the rooftop of the community center. And at first I began to suspect that
Well,
maybe it
Mr.
was...
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
before we
Yes,
get
Your Honor.
into the damages you say, you allege,
Yes, sir.
and now I understand about the community center, and I'm sorry to hear about your nephew, but I am happy to see that you turned that pain into purpose in doing something positive in the community. I want to hear from the Greens just to get a little bit about their background before we get into the lawsuit. I understand, Ms. Green, the two of you have lived in this community for a long time, since your son was a small child. And just tell me how you got involved with the center, how you know Mr. Dawson, and what your relationship is like with Marcus, and then I'll hear from you, Marcus.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm not going to say that my son did this or did not do this. We live right across the street. And Mr. Dawson knows us because he was a neighbor. I really feel like we're just being singled out because he knows who my son is and we're right there. We're right next to he sees us every day. We're right there. I've never seen any proof that this was actually my son. I have no idea, what's going on. I unfortunately have to work 2 jobs to be able to to be able to take care of myself and my son at this point. Times have changed, and I all I do is work. I'm sitting here and I'm parenting blindfolded. I give my son rules. He knows right from wrong, and I just don't have any communication. We've really lost communication, and I don't know how to reach him anymore. He's telling me that it didn't happen, so that's all I can trust at this point.
Marcus, and why don't you tell me about you? What grade are you in school now?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm in 11th grade.
Okay, and you know Mr. Dawson, correct, from the community center?
Correct, yes, Your Honor.
Your mom says that you're a good kid. What was it like when you first joined the community center? Is this a place that people that you know other kids go to in your neighborhood? It's a place that you guys have enjoyed going to?
Yes, definitely. I would say the community center, in a way, a lot of people consider it like the staple of the community, and it's a very safe place. It's a very close place. I really did enjoy my time at the community center, whether it was painting or just playing or playing basketball. But ever since my cousin Jamal his passing, I kind of been feeling a little bit down, and I've kind of been coming to terms with it in my own way. But I've been a bit
Okay.
antisocial, and
And I'm sorry to hear about your cousin.
thank you, Your Honor.
But Mr. Dawson has brought some pretty serious allegations in court today. And I say serious because, this is a civil case, but when you're talking about trespassing, vandalism, then we start talking about criminal cases.
Coming up,
Let me see the video surveillance you say you have, sir.
I don't know what to tell you, Your Honor. Marcus wore those pants to the center for like 3 days a week. That's his hoodie that he wore.
Okay, you can't see his face.
Either somebody is trying to look like Marcus or it's Marcus.
So I want to hear what Mr. Dawson claims, and he says, Miss Green, that he does have proof that it was your son. I'm withholding judgment until I hear his testimony and hear the proof. So I'll hear from you now, Mr. Dawson, about the damage you say Mr. Green caused.
Yes, Your Honor. And also, I just want to say that Marcus was the reason. I mean, this center was exactly. I was able to point to him and say, "See, it works." And I'm sorry to hear Miss Green say that we're not friends. We've been neighbors for so long. I'm a single parent too, and I know exactly what it is like. And I know our time is limited today, so let me get straight to it. Uh, Basically, there was vandalism totaling $2,200.
What do you say happened exactly when you talk about the vandalism? What happened?
Yes, there was spray painting to the facility and removal of that, of course. And you have the invoice in front of you, and windows were also broken. And of course, public trust violated.
How do you know that it was Marcus?
Well, Your Honor, I was hoping that just because of the situation, that maybe we could give Marcus an opportunity to say yes or no whether or not he did it. I do
Well,
have
I'm,
the
I'm going to
letter
say
from James.
before he came to court today, he denied it. So I just have to ask you, since you brought the lawsuit, of any proof that you have. So
Yes,
you have a letter from James, and
yes,
I
Your
will
Honor.
let's show the letter now.
Certainly.
So James, another child at the center, and by the way, we've changed his name, so he is protected. He's underage as
Correct.
well. He writes to you, I'm really sorry for what happened at the center. I know that what Marcus did hurt you and everyone. I feel terrible about it. You've done so much for me and other kids. I want to apologize for the damage that was caused. You gave me a place to grow, learn, and believe in myself when I had nowhere to go. I promise to do my part to help protect what you've built and make sure this doesn't happen again. So, according to you, James admits that he and Marcus both engaged in these acts together. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor, and until just now when you mentioned that, I didn't realize that Marcus had fully denied it. So I was hoping the letter would be enough. While James was involved in there, he did not actually do the acts of vandalism. But I do have surveillance footage, and I was hoping that we could have an admission from Marcus without having to even mention that. But
Well,
it's right
well,
there
let
in the
me just
video.
ask. Let me ask him, Mr. Green. Did you cause vandalism to the center? He said he has video.
No, Your Honor. I'm not. At first, I was pretty like shocked to hear that he had footage, and for me even to be called to court today. But I never I'm not sure. I understand you changed the name of the person, but I never engaged in any acts with anybody.
You never admitted to somebody else that you caused damage to the center?
No, I'm not. I kind of feel like singled out. I kind of feel I'm not sure.
So you didn't do it. You're saying you
No,
did not do it.
no, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so this other person who wrote this letter, because I don't think Mr. Dawson would create this letter. I don't think he's the type of person that would
Oh, Your
come up
Honor.
with evidence and manufacture evidence to pin this on you. So I'm a little concerned that somebody else is writing a letter to court. I wish this person were here today to testify, but I'm a little concerned that another person would write a letter, not to the court, but to Mr. Dawson and implicate both of you in this incident. So let me see the video surveillance you say you have, sir.
That's the window being broken, Your Honor, by Marcus, or I allege, of course. And then we had two different cameras going. There we go, Your Honor. And I don't know what to tell you, Your Honor. Marcus wore those pants to the center for like 3 days a week. That's his hoodie that he wore. Anybody in this community that knows Marcus or hangs out in the center would identify that as his attire.
Okay, you can't see his face. I know you're saying that's his attire, but you cannot see the individual in that video. Let me see the work you said that he did in a positive manner. You said that he helped create a mural at the center.
Yes, I mean, oh, yes, Your Honor. He and four other students, I helped draft it, and then we brought in a professional painter over a weekend that sort of tutored them on how to put it together. It's incredible, as you can see. Marcus is one of the most gifted visual artists that we've ever had come through the center, and he kind of led the way. And not only that, he's an excellent writer too. But there's a pattern, Your Honor. There was the death of his cousin, and then he sort of retreated into himself, and it was obvious. And I would ask other students, has anybody seen Marcus? And I'd kind of get sort of those hedged looks where they didn't want to say things. And it just kept, rumors would trickle in that his grades were falling apart. And I know it's a tragedy that he lost his cousin, but then there's the garbage that got dumped all over the center. It just seems to follow a parallel pattern that's almost hard to ignore. And either somebody is completely trying to look like Marcus, or it's Marcus. And
Hmm.
I just hope we can get some
Yeah,
honesty out of somebody I really care about.
Miss Green, I want to ask you, does that look like your son in the video in terms of what he's wearing?
all the kids wear hoodies and sweatpants. This is like what I
Mm-hmm.
see every kid in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But not every
I
kid,
just
Your
need to
Honor, wears
apologize to
yellow
my
shoes.
If this moment had you talking to the screen, wait until you see the rest of the cases. On my virtual justice channel, I go live every week to break it all down and share brand new episodes. Scan the code now to join me.
Coming up,
Why were you carrying a fake gun that perhaps appeared to be real in your waistband, Marcus?
I got out of school with a couple of my friends, and it was kind of a joke.
But the police were called, so you understand how that's not funny?
Yes, Your Honor. Honestly,
Especially for young men of color, involving what people think may be a real firearm. It does not even have to be real. And the number of kids who are now dead and no longer with us. Miss Green, I want to ask you, does that look like your son in the video in terms of what he's wearing?
all the kids wear hoodies and sweatpants. This is like what I
Mm-hmm.
see every kid in.
Mm-hmm.
But not every
I
kid,
just
Your
need to
Honor, wears
apologize to
yellow
my
shoes.
I really can't say whether or not he did this or not. In my heart, I don't want to think he did it, but yes, it does look like him. Yes, he does have clothes like that, but I need him to be able to take some accountability if that was him, you know?
Marcus, I'm pleading with you. I don't know if you know what contempt of court is. If you lie to a judge in a courtroom, it's very, very significant. It will take this to a totally different level.
Marcus,
yes, Your Honor.
if this was you and you did this, now is the time to tell the court.
I I I saw the video just like you, Your Honor, and I just
I'm not asking you about the video, Marcus. I'm asking you about you. If you say it wasn't you, you can say that and testify to it, but I just want to know the truth.
it wasn't me.
Okay.
I know,
Miss Green, Miss Green, you say that you're concerned You feel like you're losing your son, but you're not telling me why. Is there anything else besides what's Mr. Dawson is alleging at the center? Is there anything else that's happened that has led you up to this point where you feel like you're losing him in a way?
You know what? About a month ago, he had like a BB gun on him, but it didn't even work. I think it was broken, but it was just the way that he put the BB gun or this toy, he put this toy gun like in his pants, to what it was like represent, looking like a firearm. It wasn't. And what happened was he's walking and the cops were called on him. Somebody saw it and they called the cops. I got a call at work. I rushed over there. By the time I seen this kid was in cuffs. He was scared. He was scared to death. He was just, I really, this was like, he was acting like a tough kid. This is not who this kid is.
Why were you carrying a fake gun that perhaps appeared to be real in your waistband, Marcus?
I didn't mean any harm by it, out of it. I got out of school with a couple of my friends, and one of them found it. It was kind of a joke. So I put it there, and
But the police
honestly,
were called, so you don't you understand how that's not funny?
yes, Your Honor. Honestly,
Especially
oh,
for young men of color. Let me just back up for a second because do you know you're 16 years old, but I just want you to go home and I want you to read. Okay, just look at the cases, the incidents that have occurred the last several years, especially with young black and brown boys involving what people think may be a real firearm. It does not even have to be real. But the fact that they think it's real and what their reactions are and the number of kids who are now dead and no longer with us because somebody decided, you know what, this day I want to be brave, I want to be tough, and I want people to think I'm tough when I'm walking around the streets, so I'm going to put this gun in my waistband because that's what people think it is. They don't think it's fake. And in 1 minute, 1 second, your life can be gone because you're walking around. And I know you're up. Clearly, your family is going through a difficult time. Your mom has told me about the work, the hours that she's working. So you're home alone a lot. You recently have a death of someone who cared a lot about you, but you're still living. You're still here.
yes, Your Honor.
So what are you going to do with the life that you have left now? You're only 16 years old. You have a bright future ahead of you and you have a lot of potential. Don't ruin it with with some of these impulsive decisions that you're making right now, spur of the moment. You need to keep up with school. You need to start going back to school, go every day, keep up with your grades, and do something positive. And don't let your cousin's life be and his death be in vain because you're still here. And I'm sure that he would want to see you do great things with your life. Miss Green, I really empathize with you. You're working hard, you're working a lot, and I know you love your son and you want the best for him. I am concerned that it was him in that video. I think in your heart of hearts, you are too. We can't see the person's face in the video, but I know that you can afford to pay $2,200. So I'm not going to order you to pay that, Mr. Dawson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the court is going to cover the cost of the $2,200. I don't think it's fair for you to be out of that
Thank
money as
you,
well.
Your Honor. Thank
But I
you.
also, Miss Green is working extremely hard right now to make ends meet. I know it's not something that she can afford. Can
Your Honor, may
I?
I say something?
Yes, Marcus.
I didn't wanna admit that it was me because I knew my mom didn't have the money, but now that I'm here and I seen that she's going through it, I really think this would be a good opportunity for me to get in touch with my creative side and kinda get over things, and
Hmm.
I promise I'll do my best to make things right, and I'll be able to
Okay,
get.
so you were involved, Marcus.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. As we suspected. But I have to give the benefit of the doubt when I see the evidence and it's not clear. But you just did the right thing, and that actually shows me um, that you're on the right path. It
Thank you for
shows
being
me. It
honest.
shows me that you're on the right path. So we appreciate your honesty, and I can also understand why you knew that your mom didn't have the money. So, but honesty is still the best policy, Marcus. I don't want to ever see you in this situation again. But next time, just be upfront and honest. And see, that's why you don't do things like that. If you know your mom doesn't have the money to pay for the actions that you take for damages that you're causing, then you don't do it. But I also don't want to completely absolve Marcus of responsibility. So I'm ordering you to do some community service. I think it will be good for you overall with some of the decisions that you're making. So I'm going to order you to do 50 hours minimum of community service at the center. Go back to the center and follow Mr. Dawson's direction. He said, you're a wonderful artist. You're a great writer. So he can center that community service that you do around your gifts and around your talent. Is that okay with you, Mr. Dawson?
Your Honor, the door is wide open. We bridge the gap, and if this isn't a moment to show that, then there isn't ever going to be a moment like that. Thank you, Your Honor. And
Wonderful.
Marcus, I
I'm
want you to
very
know
happy to
you're
see that.
welcome. Day one, you come in for those 50 hours, you will be treated with all the due respect you've had previously. This is a great moment.
I appreciate your grace, Sean. Thank you. And thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome, Miss
Dawson.
Green. You're watching a 2-week preview of Virtual Justice with Judge Faith. The full season continues on my Fireside channel with brand new cases, shocking verdicts, and weekly live Q&As with me. Don't miss it. Subscribe now. I hope that you know, Marcus, that your mom loves you and that she's worried about you and that she's working very hard. And as from mom to mom, I can tell you, it's heartbreaking for her. And I've read her statement and some things that she said in her papers. This is a heartbreaking time for her. So you need your mom and she needs you as much as you need her. So the two of you have to be in this together. Don't make your mom worry about where you are at night, where you are during the day. She's working hard, Marcus. I need you to appreciate that. Okay? And understand how hard she's working to make ends meet. So you do your community service, you keep up with school, but my order is the court is going to cover the $2,200 because I want this community center to thrive and I want it to continue to help the kids in the community. I'm sorry, Miss Green. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just so appreciative of this because I really feel like this is what he needs to lead a more positive life, having a positive reinforcement and showing him the way that this is helping us and not hurting us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it and good
Thank
luck
you.
to all of you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very
Dawson,
much.
for the work
Thank
that
you,
you
Your
do.
Honor.
Thank you, Your
Good
Honor.
luck.
Thank you.